Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
I saw you this morning.
Yeah.
So you should tell Jennifer how it went.
No, so we don't figure out anymore.
Good, I know, right? But then on top of that, they have to worry about the.
Because he can't see all that sugar.
Mhm.
And then, like, I think she was saying like something about like him and antibiotics, so they had to do, they couldn't even do like the antibiotics, so he just sit there and pain. They're like, poor baby. Like, worry about like ketones or something.
Good.
Yeah. Poor guy.
I thought Debbie.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Shift gears.
Or like, I mean, after like 2 hours, it was like right now, she's like, totally fine. It's like, oh, you literally just went in for an operation like 6 hours ago.
Yeah, so just go with that. Just say, in 2 hours, she was doing so well.
You might have been a little psychotic there for a minute.
You just skip the 2 hours before that.
Yes. Good, how are you?
Are we looking at this?
Oh, possibly, yeah. You said we. I'm not.
Thanks for reminding me.
I often thought you should do.
We would be looking at that.
What we discussed. Batteries coming down. Yeah, I got a plug in my car. It's just better for it to die. Just let it die.
How much have you got? What's on my backpack? Oh, it's you. Somewhere? No.
I'm tired.
Skills section.
They'll make me want to look at my phone more
The
often.
problem is it's just not.
Right here.
The problem is it's not easy.
Just put it over there.
Really?
So it's
I
not
don't know, I can start. You say, just put it over there with the backpack?
Yeah, okay, these were very similar.
Teachers have everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, that's,
Yeah, there's a pack in my backpack,
okay.
like for the inside. It's just for the that's.
There's nothing.
If I eat this, it would make me go sad.
Uh-oh. Salad, have some salad. All right, we are gonna go ahead and get started. Welcome.
Oh, sorry. I can move it, it's all good.
Oh, there is a spot.
I think I'll just move.
How many teachers are
Sorry, it's all good.
So welcome to possibly, knock on wood, our final K-5 ELA curriculum adoption committee meeting. Woohoo!
You say possibly.
Well, at this point, After the year,
Highlights are off.
everything is possible in my life now. All right, so we're gonna look at your agenda, so a quick review. Please go ahead and read through it. Again, maybe circle one of the working agreements that you really want to focus on during our time tonight.
I'm sorry, did you say we need to circle one?
Just for yourself, just pick one that you think, during this time tonight, we're gonna really work on. I will send around the final sign-in sheet also. Any questions about, the agenda? All right, so the process is going to look similar to our final meeting last go round, somewhat. So we'll start with individual review time, and then we'll move into grade level team, so your grade level partner, and then we'll break out to a little bit bigger group also within that grade level time. Then we'll do a whole group discussion, and then you will individually score. So I want to remind us of this, and Marco wasn't here, our very first meeting, way back, where we watched the video of the people passing the basketball. And during the video, there is a person dressed in a gorilla costume that walks through, but you are too busy counting how many times they passed the ball, which led to this conversation about our selective attention is important. We all come here with our own hats. We come here as community members, as parents with children at a specific age. We come here as teachers of third grade at certain buildings. But we are tasked with not seeing the tree anymore. We have to see the forest. We are representing all of those things. Our forest is the Nampa School District. So that is 14,000 students. That is 28% students identify or come from low income families. That is 14% of parents say that their students are learning English. We know that that number is sometimes skewed because sometimes they don't necessarily want to say that their child doesn't speak English. So at least 14%. 12% of our students have disabilities. Under 1% are in foster care. We have 5% of our students are homeless. 3% are students from migrant families, and 3% students from military families. So all of those pockets we have to represent.
Can you go back to that real quick? I just want to clarify something because we have a data chart out there, obviously is wrong. Our students from low-income families is over 50%. I don't know where the 28 came from.
That's a state website.
Yeah, they've got a wrong metric on there. So that is not accurate. It's about double what it's reflecting right there. Just so everybody understands. That is not accurate.
It makes me wonder what else is not accurate.
I would say
The
these
rest
are
of-
minimum numbers.
The rest of what is up there appears to me, from the data I look at on a fairly regular basis, appears to be fairly on target. That one's definitely not. I don't know whether that happens every once in a while, but they pull it up. It's just not.
And sometimes, like, there's a lot of things that factor into that, like if you want, which we don't have currently, but like free and reduced lunch. Some families that qualify for that don't want to receive free and reduced lunch, so they never fill that out. So that comes into play with some of these. So minimum, like these would definitely be minimum numbers that would be higher. Of our 14,000 students, 1% of each of those categories, so Asian, Black, African American, Native American, or Alaskan Native, Native Hawaiian, or Pacific Islander. 4% identify as multiracial, 40% Latino or Hispanic, and then 55% white. So that number is actually fairly high. 40% is a significant amount in our community. We have about 270 elementary teachers. So for my teachers and admins, like you are representing, about 270 teachers at all grade levels, K-5. And of those, this year, we had about 50 new teachers. So that could get higher, so we have to remember, we have the spectrum also. Also, that doesn't encompass people who might have taught first grade, but then are moved to fifth grade and never taught fifth grade. And those are two totally separate grades to teach. So they're like new teachers again. So our special interest groups and open house feedback. They were very understanding, but I had to go to the special ed department again and say, I need, please come and review some additional materials again. And they were gracious enough to do it, as well as our English language department. So our federal programs director, and then he has one other person that kind of helps oversee that program. They both came and reviewed materials, and then our special ed team from the district office also came down and reviewed materials again. And then we did have open houses. So if you look at your feedback, I kind of have it compiled for you. The English language department, I asked them to rank them. Their number one choice was HMH into reading due to the number of activities for ELs, but they also typed out like a pretty in-depth sheet for me for each program. So if at some point you're interested in reading deeper about what that department had to say about each program, I have that information for you. Their second choice would be Amplify, because it aligns to WIDA standards. And then their third choice was Open Court. An interesting thing about Open Court, it used to have a Spanish version available, and they are working on that in the next few years. They couldn't tell me exactly when it would be available. Currently, they do not have a Spanish component. So that came into play also for our English language department. The special ed department, their choice was also HMH into reading. Their second choice was Open Court, and their third was Amplify. The dual language school, their number one choice was HMH into reading. They felt like the Spanish curriculum provided a richer Spanish language development that supported ELA big components. Their second choice was Amplify, and then they couldn't rank Open Court because it's not available. And I would say we only have one dual immersion school. However, because of that 40% number and the amount of English language learners we have, oftentimes teachers from our other schools will ask for Spanish editions, and that school is gracious enough to lend them out to us. Also, we have digital access to all the Spanish. So if we don't actually have a hard copy for them, we have access digitally to that.
It's nice to be able to, because a lot of the kids that come in, at least from my grade level and up, they can read in Spanish. And so if they can have both the Spanish version and the English version, it makes that transition easier for them. And without that, it can be a little bit harder when they're just, I had a student last year that came from Mexico directly to me and had no English, but he was proficient in reading in Spanish. So that was a good thing for him to have.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
So it says that 54 teachers came, but you don't break it down with how many English language came from the English language department, special education department, or the dual language.
Oh, those numbers do not include those people.
Oh, no.
No, that's a totally separate.
Okay, so
So just classroom teachers.
so this went to the English language department, like all the teachers in that department.
No, that went to the director, Niall. Do you know Niall Trimble?
Yeah.
The director of that entire department, and then Ali Howell, the person, the co-teacher that works with all of the buildings.
Okay, so it went to the leadership. Right, so,
Well, and like, Ali's kind of, she does both. She works in schools with teachers
yeah,
and,
I'm just wondering if teachers actually get the information from these departments, or are we just taking the word from the leaders in that department?
I would say some of them probably came to the open house. And then the dual language school, they actually, they have, like what we have out here, those places, well, Open Court didn't, but Amplify and Into Reading, they have all the actual hard samples over, so their whole school could look at it. So those teachers are masters of EL, so I would say all the dual language school includes all those people. So then, yeah, the open house is a standalone. Great question. So that bottom one, the open house, 70% ranked HMH into reading as their first choice. And then you can see their role, who came and who's part of that 70%. On the back, it has it broken out for you further. So HMH into reading was 70% of the people. Amplify CKLA, first choice was 23% of the people that came, and then Open Court was 7%. Along with that, not everyone who ranked the program left a comment. It was optional. You didn't have to leave a comment, but everyone that left a comment, that is printed out for you on this paper. So you'll have time to review that. And they're sorted by people who chose HMH into reading as their first choice. Those are the comments on the back. People who chose Amplify as their first choice, that's their back section of comments. And then the third is people who chose the report in their comments. More questions about that?
Just really quickly,
Yeah,
it could be a dumb question, but currently we're using what program?
currently we're using Journeys.
Journey.
Which is HMH?
Yes, it is, however, it's a complete rewrite.
Yeah.
So there is a Journeys, so we use Journeys 2014. There is actually a Journeys 2017 edition out there. So that was not a complete rewrite, that was actually just some tweaks within the program. Into Reading is a rewrite, different program.
Different program, but same companies.
Same publisher.
Okay. Very good.
Or 8 parents in. Or 8 left comments, or filled out the survey, identified as a parent.
And do we have those separate at all? Just seeing.
I don't have it on here, but I can easily get that for you while you're looking if you're interested.
To know, do you mean which comments belong to which members they came?
I can definitely, they're mixed in right now, but I can separate them out for you.
Even if you like, well, and some of them talk about like third graders or.
That's clear.
So sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
All right, so back to how this is gonna work process-wise. I'm gonna give you about 20 to 30 minutes individually, and we can check in. If you finish before then, we can move on to the next step. If you need longer, we can do that as well. So individual time to dive in. And I have for you your scorer sheets, your official scorer sheets, which because of how we're running this, I will need these back tonight from you. And
We're not gonna know the results today.
yes, we will, but I just need your notes that we're writing about the programs. All of you have a identifier. So you have a number, is assigned to you. That's your scorer number. So as you are doing your individual review, you can begin taking your notes and scoring. I'll remind you on the back. The back of the rubric is the scoring defined, so a 1, let me get to my notes. 1 is a criteria was not met. 2 is partially met or part of the criteria. 3 was adequately met. 4 substantially met, and then 5 completely met. Please help yourself to food and drinks in the refrigerator. If you have questions, let me know. Yeah.
Do you want my notes?
Yes. It doesn't have to be all your notes, just any notes that you're, like, as you're reviewing this tonight, because you're gonna actually put it in a form later, and not all of these are gonna be captured, but I will get whatever you've captured tonight on your paper.
And just for clarity, this is to be filled out after we have the whole group discussion, correct?
Actually, you can take notes and think about what you wanna do there.
Okay.
But like formally, yes, knowing what you're going to score it won't probably occur until after the whole group discussion.
Thank you.
The note score is correct. Or like,
I mean, you're, right now in your mind, like you're getting an idea of what you're gonna score it, right? So maybe you're writing it, somewhere on there. It can be on that paper if you want. But like the actual score on the line, I would wait until after a whole group discussion to like solidify your score. Also notice which one each program has its own page. Okay.
Can you refresh my memory on how much training they're gonna do for like the Amplified program versus how much teacher time to learn
You know, all of them probably have about the same amount of time, but they're each, depending on which program, they have some like training that teachers can do on their own, like a lot of webinars, videos. So depending on how much they want to access during
the
their
summer.
time, like their own time, non-paid time, just to be prepped. I mean, they will have some things. Hopefully, we're hoping to have like at least, I'm guessing like a half day, in August when we get back. And then another touch point, hopefully like in January, and then another touch point like in April of next year. And then probably have our coaches, like, building coaches in all of our buildings next year. Those can kind of be a trainer, they can receive more, because we also need subs. So we can train them up a little more than, and they can kind of be quick in our buildings as well.
your river or whatever for the scoring, the 1 through 5? That,
It's the last page, second to last page in your packet. It's at the top.
thank you.
They with you or they just,
They're out there. They're being too loud.
no, you're fine, I just wanted to, you know, we had someone else joining the party out there. You said we-
They were, on Tuesday.
Yeah, I saw it. You're downstairs.
Yeah, they wanted us to decide.
Also, it's kind of bad. She won't be tired, so.
And she's a good better, I appreciate that. About how many more minutes do you need on your own? Okay. I was just checking.
I asked questions of different grade levels.
No. But I thought you're just doing your grade levels, right? Aren't you just scoring based on your grade?
Yeah, but you may have seen it in first grade where I didn't see it in kindergarten.
Oh, well, there were some things that I marked no in first, but it says it's in kindergarten.
We'll have time for it,
Okay.
so not yet. 10 more minutes?
Yes, I'll start it. This is the one I need to remember.
Okay, because you'll have time again at the end to score.
Random noises. Buildings to be buried. Oh,
It's right perfect.
God.
I really went through the hair.
She can't be like.
Yeah, maybe she follows one. What does that make you feel? I'm right now. All right, well, let's go ahead and move into our grade level team discussion. So you need to remember, I did slide in here. Which grade level people you're working with to start with. So those are your teams that you're gonna get with right now. Ask questions, things you don't know if you saw, or confirm what you think you saw is in there. Discuss the rubric, and then also like just talk about strengths and weaknesses of each of the programs that you found. So we'll do that for about 30 minutes and we'll check in, see where you're at.
All right, hold up to it.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
I know, I was like.
Oh, you're there. It is.
I can go under. No. Look at everything. Get a chair and but I'm just gonna pull it. Oh, okay, just start showing and then swipe actually.
We did talk about that, I'm trying to remember, you said that they were. Copies or something? I should have probably had a question on.
I did ask it. You can answer. So that's a big question, because lots of us have those home. What it would look like. Just the only one that does high frequency words with the notes on strong symbols, not memorize sight words. So the other two are still memorizing sight words. So that's the difference.
You can just kind of
But they did have a word level,
go down and see if there's any,
so they have both of those.
what notes we had. So there's amplify.
There's a separate vocabulary.
I know. They did like the blending with the R. That's all I got. As far as blending, I didn't see that sort of like deletion, I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't.
So.
I just saw it. And I didn't even see it, I just saw her describing the blending at the R and that's it.
Yeah.
That thing, I just didn't see it when I was there. Okay, you didn't find it? Okay. I was
But
really,
there's no like, if I go to the library.
no, this is awkward, that was really hard test to get through. I don't know, I couldn't understand it. Like what was?
So, you know.
Yeah, it was too, it was
Like that
not,
level of
it just,
reading.
it was all over
Just
the
the
place.
authentic
But that was
literature, like,
perfect, so
where is that?
I thought so when it talks about the totems, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nursery rhymes and fables, but they don't.
I said, no, there isn't daily opportunity.
Yeah, so that other one's kind of like more.
It doesn't.
But you do have great.
Yeah, I like struggle with those. I would have this working for us, yeah.
Or like it's like 10, so build up the knowledge, all that.
first.
Yeah.
No, they talk about it in Cambridge, but like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard one, because that's really emphasized in here, so I'm curious what they have to say.
Yeah.
Audit, we're talking about the protocols. About that the other day.
Grade 3 is
Very, right, where they even wanted to read the protocols. Or am I wrong? Did I not look at it?
Grade 4.
Yeah.
Unit 1, there's 14 lessons, which is
And it
review.
says stories in there, like, oh, we're gonna
It seems like.
So it is, okay.
Well,
That begs your
so
question.
yes, it is practice, we, where we have, like, I don't know if it's what we're like, turns out. Put a question mark around that. Are the coaches? That was like, but I just.
Yeah, and I think have we got the questions back from the public hearing, because I don't know how we tell if they were consumables or not, by just looking at it like, so.
And I look at.
Do you have any of the questions back that were asked?
Digital,
Yes.
this is what is okay.
Okay.
Let me.
For me,
I was.
I know, the older I become, the more.
The spelling was like.
Some of the younger ones, like, they do everything that way, so I'm like, oh, they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And then I put just the things that you use for teachers, these words and books that you have.
Yeah,
Fictional literature.
I like the sound
I
spelling.
would like to see a little more.
I like the sound because they do spelling. But the sound, I just in my mind.
I thought this was one of the most like so positive and focused on themes and like carrying themes year after year, like. So I really like the continuity. I find that's so what I was like, homeschoolers and other people just make words like.
It's
This is good a little bit, and then these ones.
well, that's what, I know, I was like, it was like, our the hypersensitivity, I was like, well, they, yeah, where they called it a tricky word and then they gave it away. So I'm like,
And then at the end, you like start.
I don't hate it, I don't like it, I don't, like,
I don't.
I saw a thing about like later,
I don't know.
point out the spellings that we do
I
have,
just think when it's simple and it's got it,
but in the.
and then
spelling was kind
Open Core does include the English Learner Teacher Guide,
yes, okay,
and
so
it does include the intervention guide.
Great.
and then what about consumables? I didn't ask that one, but I realized that, like, which ones include, they, for the decodable text and maybe consumable?
So all of them at this point have the option to like, they are available PDFs, but we're not like purchase the books that we used to rip out.
Yeah, but they all offer the PDFs, right?
Yes.
And many of the school districts.
I think it has been the decision in it, but I think just moving forward, it's possible that they'll be able to make those decisions. Yeah, and that comes up a lot in teacher comments. That's a question that's hot on their minds, so. Something from our first grade teacher.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. On that one.
Trisha's up there.
I remember the first time. Story, of course, they're all of us.
Oh, she said that all of them have the PDF versions for printing, so we don't have to worry about that for any of that.
That's kind of like, okay, yeah, we do 5 in a row.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but that seemed very important to have that.
So, yeah.
This is the one I missed, and so I kind of.
Oh.
So this, and I did watch it, but sometimes
Still,
yeah, I kind of feel like, I don't know, like, nothing on that one.
You are, like, but like if you were able to get that 100, you know, like you have, like,
I didn't see, and I started writing them because I wrote down what I wrote last night. And I wrote down a 4 for the first section, but now I'm
well, that's what I was like, to me, I never
yeah, I know. No, and this section's real bad. Like,
yeah.
So,
It doesn't address right?
For their grades, they're
edit, include references to the sound spelling cards.
for all that stuff.
And they have the cards.
I was gonna say, something I read that they had.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the difference in the
So-
difference is that each
You should ask those teachers, how much time?
Oh, yeah.
I just want to find.
Yeah, I didn't actually know anybody to get enough. They might have done it in maybe a tutor, and so I don't know.
Let's see. So,
On the vocabulary one for the first, I did not know because I was looking at this. Vocabulary was reading or
I know, I just added it, they're like, bottom,
So,
under the
the tier
sentence.
two are those words that like were transferred out of things.
Okay.
And it wasn't, it was two operating words.
Okay.
So that was really more, that was.
Yeah, because I'm one of those that I don't.
Did you talk about the 4
Oh, I don't think so.
So like the articulation, I was like, that's a new concept, right?
And everything I read, I felt like it was really
That's kind of what I know when I was reading.
That's okay. Or open the market, that was what we watched.
And you have like,
There's
So we watched about
there was
the,
like
before we watched
a
it.
whole group and then you give them feedback, right?
And I know it wasn't in the one before, but they could have added it in.
There is.
And then I know they took that over to the core. I have that question about. Right.
Immediate feedback, and that
We
would
don't have to see the articulation video.
whole group and then small group.
Yeah, because then that's what you were reading.
And open I didn't know,
You know.
I assumed they didn't have them like ever so long, so it would be a new thing that I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's all this, but then I thought, well, maybe it's kind of digital thing.
Yeah, I've heard some that will, but I know they didn't because when we taught it.
Yes.
More fun, right?
That would be interesting.
Because that was the first reading then.
Yeah.
But
I knew it was gonna change as I.
That is kind of on the same page. So we have like a lot to offer the approval.
This section was this was paper, I was like.
Reading. And spoken word religion. Yeah, that was first reading and another part. Which we want to try and get away from that.
Right.
Where the hard work, I just wanted to look back right up it. Just because you just have to memorize this.
So, definitely.
I want an open court, where you like.
It's reading.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I'm glad they're aware of that.
So it was amplified, then reading,
I still want
and then open.
Because my number 2, score number 2 is, I mean, my, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for your support. No,
Okay.
the,
Sorry, I was
no,
lost.
no, it's fine. And it was like 100% codable for the context.
Yeah.
So, that's good. And then also, so you can use them to them also.
This one. I just feel like it's so different from what I've ever been
I got like flustered while I was, yeah, that's the word, and I'm like, so I don't know if I'm taking that because I'm not a teacher, or the teachers get flustered, like how I would say. You don't want that.
And then see, this is interesting, because then like in the here, then it says language students will demonstrate understanding the two children support. All the one that's all the part of the conversation. And so then here I just mark those languages.
Yeah.
I just get like, I don't know how to do these, but here it is, you're talking, so.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. But they given us early on.
Yeah.
Oh, and
There was some that I felt like were contradictions, but I looked for some.
yeah, here's the one that they gave, which is great, right, so.
Because I didn't hear that sometimes. It's a great point, because I remember I was, the writing was hard to.
Yeah.
The writing connected policy, the reading process.
From this meeting.
But it was two different
Right.
for just knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
It was an option. Into reading.
So this does say when you're writing, but then so no, it doesn't.
That's just a lot of meetings.
The writing doesn't connect to it, you know, this is in part two, and the, right, I don't need that, like, where is it at?
Yeah. And then,
So like,
like writing workshop.
unit two is the
Workshop in
human,
general.
like what you're developing is, so those two. Right?
So.
Yeah.
And I was having a
Workshops, they
I was
also
kind
do
of
like
like
reading
reading
workshop.
I did
Which that would be a couple
Provide
of
units
units
and
and
everything.
as little readers.
It
Like on conversation levels. So like, they really do. And then 100% digital imprints that if they're online. That's good. That's, I think that's a school connection to letting the students know, but if they don't have a scan. So like they talk about that bit, like, oh, you're English and Spanish, but then that, you don't have that.
No, you
Yeah.
Well, then, like, what's with that one, just for for them.
I think they go through all the other things are actually it takes types and their strategy.
Yeah.
And as far as, and I didn't clarify on these ones.
Board members,
I
actually, and reading. So I would love to get more like. Show it as. I know you're having to letters, words.
Can I clarify this?
Yeah.
I think it's just too long. It's article mentions of print grammar and syntax taught explicitly in the context of writing. Are we talking about production writing, or are we just talking about like practicing periods, right, just like a thing for the period?
Let me look.
Because I was thinking, I was interpreting it as like we're going through the process and not really reason before.
Right,
And
So that's, but I just.
that it's embedded in like a.
Yeah, in that kind of production
Right.
style, right?
There was, it said, like, from what I wrote this all down the other day, because that's what she said. So I just wrote down the different types of assessments that she said were different. you know.
Show it more than once.
No, I don't know that they're rigorous. I don't know about assessments.
Really, it's like a differentiation now, or okay,
Okay, so see, this is kind of like the thing that I was the one that I looked at. Now this one does have two teachers. So maybe this needs to be. Sometimes.
Right?
These are for that conversation.
Yeah, let me give them a call.
So, yeah,
Yeah, so it'll be like.
That's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Too much.
I can do that.
really increased.
It's like too much. And then, okay, and we were, so that's like
School connection, they had, this is the one,
so that's
thing
cool.
I did like about it, is that they had home letters with the worksheets, not just a whole letter. It's like, I really like it. Yeah, again, not a deal breaker, but whatever one we choose.
And then the answer like.
Yeah, so it is that they're teaching them like while they're writing, but it's explicit, it's not like, oh, well, this student, it's not like your French teacher, like tier one is everyone's learning, get your paper out, like what you've written, and we're all gonna look for periods. It's not like opportunistic as in like, oh, I noticed you didn't have periods, so I'm gonna teach you about periods. Like, we're making sure we cover all of them.
Okay, we're just.
Does that make sense?
Open court committee, ask them others. So I did A1.
So the instructors, they did talented,
And I do the
then
CPLA for A1.
it would have to be, I mean, it has to be.
And foundational skills.
I
I don't like it gets as strong. I don't think it's as strong.
They kind of, they set challenge, but
Teacher,
I'm not sure,
but
gifted and talented doesn't necessarily mean
Challenge.
challenge, like that's, that you try to give them a challenge is the.
I don't know that.
yeah, exactly, that's,
Yeah, I don't think they're,
that's a whole other gifted and talented, completely different from what I understand.
And that's the one thing I was.
right, so.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which is really-
Never done that.
Oh, there's a personality.
Did you see those big pictures?
In the CPLA.
Yeah, they were treatment and were real, one of them, they were.
Those are the ones for the stories, right? For the novels.
Oh, and I like that they didn't.
What did you have in some of the like EL stuff? Does the instruction program honor the home language of English learners, offer a range of support?
Yeah, just listen.
Yeah, I was
having that
to
today.
like.
Okay.
I did play some because it has a
There was
French option.
yeah.
I was trying to talk to it. We're using.
And then it has like that emerging, you know. it has
Yeah.
kind of those different
Yeah.
parts where the kids are in there, you know.
Being so different.
Yeah.
Years to get into, was it a thought, was it?
Yeah.
I asked you about open garden and said mostly like.
Well, and then I missed this one, even though I saw it, so I'm still. Even though I saw it before.
It's like sharp. We didn't get rid of it for a reason.
I was trying to do.
But I do like that it's, I think I'm actually going back to saying what science and reading.
They've added stuff on.
Okay.
To make it stronger.
Is it uses?
Open board?
Yay.
Wrong person. Because I get, I like journeys, I'm fine with journeys, I get results with journeys. Like good results,
I feel like the,
good results,
in.
you know what I mean, when I'm in the building, like it just depends on your building, because you already want it, depends on rate of population, because like there's so many things.
And then they come as revenue zeros or like, I love. You see a lot of issues, cases, socially and.
They're isolating.
Wow.
I know
you
we're
don't fit in the.
blending.
In the very box anymore, like substitution. You see all of those.
Well, then that too, so ELA question, because they very strong in 1, 2, into 3 is review, and then 4, 5, it's like, where's your, what if I have a 4th or 5th grader who doesn't have any knowledge awareness or finance?
Yeah, okay, so it's like, I'm gonna say that they're just knowledge.
So like, how are we
And the
gonna
next one
build
is
those
your
gaps,
tax person, because it's not you,
right?
but
But you
that's
don't
just
wanna-
each word.
Of course.
So if,
I've
I'll see it later, you'll see it.
done it before, and I've had a helper, yeah, and you're gonna help me, and, yep, I need you to
This
help
one,
these kids, and they're like, okay, this one's good, and I'm like, I
And
can keep this too, that's why you're here.
the videos, that's the only one that had videos. I did like that.
Right.
She wouldn't care. She wouldn't care.
Yeah, like they actually had, video. Well, the other ones, they had.
She's like, okay, no, we'll do it.
She was, and then she was reading it.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
The mouth, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I had reading to her.
This one was
So she hadn't like, I just brought a picture of sound and she said, yes, and I was reading, we can talk about this. Because this is all. She don't understand the word.
Yeah.
She's like, right, yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah.
She's not.
So, yeah.
She's multitasking.
See, the handwriting part was in a separate text, she's like, no.
Runs
It's not that
stuff.
posture, yeah.
Yeah, we should double check that.
Everything is done underneath the
I like the kids, like it talks about which really there.
I did think with you, I talked to my OT guy, because CKID LA starts with crayons, broken pieces of crayons. So really the pushing, like trying to add that grit, I thought that's kind of cool. Because the other ones don't have that.
And so like here's the encoding, so we did,
I feel like it has a unique.
we did the decoding and now we're into encoding. And then additional words.
Or it can be really bad.
Well, but is it like, I thought the scoring and stuff on it was still like the actual scoring, they all super duper.
Now this is interesting that, which I just.
And almost fun. Yeah, I think it is, yeah. All right, and all of them.
Instruction.
Yeah, they are coming from the
So
same.
this is,
program.
just
Okay.
here's the expectations.
Right.
Reading that.
So if that's true, you're doing more hours than
Send to
that.
them.
And this is not just the Gala versus the other one.
And these guys did talk about the. That was report. Changed it.
They were the first ones?
Yeah.
Fourth up from the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was the one I was. Yeah, they're done.
Where they from this name?
That was the one I was like, I don't know. They did, everything was taught as a sight word or a high frequency word. It was taught as a high frequency word.
In here.
Yeah. That was the only one that they said no to.
We find if they do address handwriting and address them. You probably
Kindergarten
said that.
question, I'm like, we've got lots of questions for kindergarten.
Oh, no. It's gonna be sick. It's just coming on.
It's just going on.
It's just coming on.
I've gotta go.
And I think it's gonna carry over tomorrow. Do either of you want to?
I didn't want this to be.
What is that?
I didn't want this to be.
I'm in.
Hey, I know a person.
I'm Bruce.
Yeah.
Last, I think last January. Was it 2 January?
Okay,
So,
vocabulary,
long time.
tier 2 words. Was that there?
Yeah. How'd it go? Good?
Yeah, it was fun. I had a great time.
Right.
But also, like, they didn't know I was their son, right?
Yeah,
So
so
like,
I
oh, we're
think
gonna play today. Oh, well, let's actually do the lesson.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because you never know what you're gonna get, right? So I was capable of teaching the thing, but I can tell, like, I don't teach them much enough when I'm doing. When I get back, I'm gonna teach the thing.
When I thought if we do amplify ELA, it's definitely like something different, because I don't want to do it. And mess it up. Don't mess up everything I've done.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed my time, but I don't think that we learned anything when I was there. Which didn't make me feel good. I'm like, I can do this all day, every day.
done this,
But I'm not walking into the ice stations at the beginning of the year, so that adds a whole new level.
This one just doesn't really label whether it's. Like, yeah, is it?
We got about a minute to wrap up with your, grade level. You need more time? Okay, I'm just checking it. Okay, so about 10 more minutes?
Are you done?
Okay, so they're done.
They're very strong.
Okay, I'll go check with you.
Very strong. It's like that, just as I do that.
I don't know about the tier 2.
I think the, comprehension on this one, like we saw in.
So I would say that's why.
And it is interesting. To me, I can't figure out both. I do feel like they're gonna be one way or the other.
But what is that? Yeah.
This is the one that had a serpent at the.
Oh, you're writing?
So this says it was probably.
Oh, with 6.
The writing instruction is not. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, this whole section is like, yes, no, yes, no, like, yes for kindergarten.
Even this one has opportunities in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one had the opportunities for.
Mhm, yep. I think, and it was stronger there, I believe.
This was a strong section, so they would teach you memory, track test.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that, I'm like.
But then when around the college, it would tell them, I need a present, I want to get it. I was like, I'm an idiot, but like, I had to.
Yeah.
It doesn't mention it.
I shouldn't, not me, they did, but parents could, my husband would take home.
They that they can even do it. And you can treat it, so that's a really, yeah, I know, I'm like.
It was in the 4th grade, and it was, Catholic school, talking about the gal on the hot truck, and kids made fun of the white boy.
It's funny you say that.
The gal.
I went to boarding
Truck near the school, named the gal.
And she was like,
And I was like,
and
I
our kids
really
were
remember what we're thinking, that would be.
I went to public school, I was like, man,
The teacher says, says, why don't you let's call you Mike or Joe?
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, that's painting that bad picture here.
Very advanced.
And then he says, I'm not gonna be my ability to combine main gas standards. My grandpa say, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, which is great. So, yeah, yeah. I know one teacher's gonna say, why don't we just tell you my.
Yeah, like nobody's gonna say that. Yeah. Okay.
It'll like get little and I thought.
And that's what I wrote down. I'm like, no, no, but I could see. Yeah. Moving on.
Where did they end? On a wonderful, like, inventory.
Yeah. If I were to come in and be a sub, I could do this one. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
Handwriting, I did do a yes, no, because they weren't as like confident and strong in their handwriting one.
They had like videos that like show it, the formation, but I didn't see like. Kindergarten questions,
What was it?
Yes.
Those like
The hybrid words are definitely not
Mysterious?
memorized as sight words. So.
Well, I was like, I don't think this is like, funny. I was like, okay,
Do words, learn the vocabulary words. Like, they don't. From what I remember, what she says is.
So read it, I don't know, I just thought.
They don't include a word that they can't. They can't, that they can't thread.
Has happened when it comes to one of those, like, 48.
Just as I work a little bit, I do, it just,
I mean, it's not like.
and so. Like, writing is a fact, because it's everything.
Yes, very interesting. Yeah.
Just do your out trying to figure out things like, no, like, it's not gonna just.
But
Everybody else is.
I don't think we show that as
I did email on that. She did not.
Yeah, it has it, it's interesting, because they have the English language, but they don't have it in all, it's
Yeah.
specifically Spanish.
Right.
So they do the background, I don't know if you noticed on there, they did like the background filters. The video.
I'm shooting my eyebrows really.
Working on it.
All right. Okay, all right, so we're gonna have two groups of 4. So Anna and Jan, if you would bring your things, and we're gonna go to this room.
Man, it's not me, but you to run.
Yeah.
We have to do it. It's the fun room, guys.
Probably is. But don't tell us that.
Yeah, right? You guys stay here, we'll go to the fun room. Come on, Jan. Fun room it is.
It's what you make it.
That's right.
right.
Sounds.
This is the fun room. Sorry. You have.
Never mind. I think they're gonna send someone back.
Did you notice, I couldn't answer some of the assessment questions for some of them because it's not, if you have the assessment stuff in your.
Oh, are you back in here?
No, I gotta go back.
Oh.
Okay, thank you.
Just said.
Ray had to get his drink. Here, I'll come over around.
Slide your chair. Yep, it's our time to share our findings.
Yeah.
Not my most graceful moment.
Should we do, like we did it based off of science?
Should be kind of based off of the actual company, and be like, okay, overall,
Maybe?
or, I don't know.
So which one is the one that edges out the others right now for you?
In what area?
In any area, overall? Is there one that you feel more strongly about than others?
There's one I don't like.
Which one?
I don't like CELA.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's my favorite.
That was my favorite. Why don't you like that one? I wanna know.
Oh, it was just, it was flustering, it seemed disorganized to me and I know that's not on the rubric, but I know that that's important. Like, I know that that's, it's not in the rubric, we should have put it on there.
Did you look at the digital materials?
Yes. Better? Yeah, it was not my favorite.
What
is seems
disorganized, because I'm like,
Okay, I guess.
it kind of keeps
Oh, that looks much better. Okay, oh, that's the guide.
Are you looking at the teacher's guide? Do you want to grab the teacher's guide? I, CKLA scored the lowest, alcoholism, that stresses me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Looking at that again.
for grade one.
See, and Anne said it's super strong in A1 too. She felt like without it seemed like an add-on.
In the foundation.
I thought so too.
In K1, we're definitely like blending and putting like awareness and.
So not in, I have I took the second grade.
I'm glad I know
book,
this.
But, and I looked at specifically the second grade
Yeah.
stuff online.
Yeah.
And I liked the, so it's really connected online, all the videos are there, where you hear the sounds.
Right.
You blend the sounds, every, all that stuff. Does it have the?
I just thought so.
Yeah.
Maybe we were
Maybe I'm
trying to
wrong,
figure
but
that
I
out.
know, I can look, I can look again.
Tammy's even gonna look for articulation.
Which one was
because
your
we weren't sure, we were like, which?
I think so.
We knew the other two got it, and we thought that one.
I just need to go back. and-
Well, I thought it took, I thought it might.
Yeah.
This is the knowledge.
Did you find articulation videos?
I did not.
Stephanie thinks they are, and that they're all in those videos, that are like, the lessons,
That you can play. I may be wrong, because they're all kind of blending
There
together.
it is, that's the one I want.
Oh, did you want it? We can split it.
Meh.
I may have to go get my one for my kids.
I know, right?
Swimsuits are out.
Okay, so then I was like trying to go through the beginning. The kinder, so at least in first grade, like the whole foundational skills part, the students will segment 2-syllable words with up to 6 letters and then half. And so that's a total of 10 minutes for segmenting and blending, but there wasn't, I didn't find any examples of like deleting and substituting and some of those phonemic awareness skills, the advanced ones that are like on the ribbon, right? And then, and this is what I was trying to wrestle, because it seemed like the spelling, I was trying to make connections with like what I would look for, or like what was an H&H with the blending and the part, right? Like what that was, to see what would that look like here. And it says, so I think that the connection is the language portion, because it says prepare a chart with the following headers, or use the digital version for SH, CH, S, and X. And then the kids like have words and they kind of match. But it wasn't like, here's our sound clips, add those green words. It just wasn't the same kind of way. And then it wasn't like, okay, now you spell these words. So that's what I was struggling with, as it didn't.
Yeah, she felt like, because I was talking about that knowledge gap book, and I'm like, why do they love it so much? You know, I haven't read it yet. And she's like, because it's really like heavy knowledge based in K1 too. And she's like, and it is. She said, there's like, I like the idea that they are little birds and that they're getting more and more independent and getting out of the nest, and they're getting deeper and deeper in the. So I like that it almost circles back like on things where.
In the content?
Yeah, the content, and like, to me, I'm like, they're learning a little boop in kindergarten and a little tiny bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, because that's very Dorothy Sayers' lost children learning, where they're parents in the beginning, so you're just kind of giving them information, and then later they hang things on those pegs, and those pegs are there. So I liked it. Yeah, I'm trying to, it's the only one that's truly different. I felt like the other ones were much. It's,
I would agree. It's very different.
it's being slow. Yeah.
Well, I'm using my popular opinion, but not a popular opinion, but I really liked the record.
I liked it.
I think it's huge in K1 too, and then like, I don't know.
I liked it. It was so straightforward for me.
It is the most stick in the sand, which I do appreciate sometimes.
Yep, I
Lots of
know.
bells and whistles,
But that's-
is not necessarily about.
Right, it's interesting. I could feel myself with a little bit of that bias just during our presentation, because I was like,
Oh.
the other ones felt like they were in Canva or something really nice, and then that felt like PowerPoint.
Right, yeah, no, it definitely was not as,
Like, for the next, like, that's totally biased.
I know, but it's like, doesn't matter, I know, but it did definitely feel like.
A little more.
Again, 6 months,
Yeah.
but I liked it.
Yeah.
I know, I kept looking through it and I'm like, I don't know why I like it, and that's just personal, so. I think any of these could work, but.
I know we didn't talk
I'm
about.
gonna go to the grade one.
Which one?
CKLA.
And
I like-
H&H.
I like them both.
Oh, she was talking about a specific lesson.
I know, it's still loading, but I like the fact that students get opportunity to practice the skills in an authentic way in the CTLA. Because it's like, okay, so it's not some contrived story, so yes, the decodables are a little contrived. But, yeah, but it was the use of the skills in authentic circumstances, authentic situations. That was really, I thought that worked well, but it's just me, so I'm using my hotspot and there's some phone out there, so. It's a little, but in here, this is the skills one, unit 1.
Did you look at it online?
I was
very crystal clear.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
So here,
Maybe that's.
here's,
There we go.
this is unit 1 of first grade. Unit 1, lesson 1, first grade, back to school. And I love how they have the overview and it tells you what you need the oral blending, oral segmentation, who are you gonna do it with, all this stuff. So if you're brand new, you've never taught this before, you just come in and like, okay. And then I love the fact that it had the advanced preparation, so it's like, okay, so you need to get these things together in order to be prepared for the lesson. These are the points that you need to make sure that you have in your mind before you go. And so that's helpful, at least it would have been helpful to me as a brand new teacher coming in, brand new curriculum, right? And the pocket chart set up, and it shows you how to do that, universal access, be like, okay. And now if I go to the teach part of things. Again, because it's, yeah, sorry.
Dude, I can get a computer, what am I doing?
You can get onto the Wi-Fi here too.
There's a trick. Huh. Well. I'm almost afraid to, which, okay, the,
It's the guest one, and then you put in my email address. There's your answer, so you'll enter your name.
it's thinking. So enter my name and my email.
Yep, and then I'll ask you for your sponsor email. That'll be me.
See?
It doesn't work.
There it is.
Okay, yeah, let's just use your. That's right there. And then the
This is
teach
the
part.
skills one.
Yeah, and if you hit the teach part, that's the part that has the integrated lesson and it has the videos embedded and even, and for the part that you can, the reading that you're doing, you can either choose to read it aloud yourself or you can have the professional narration.
Yep, I have that written down, I like that.
Yeah, I love how the objectives are very clearly stated in student-friendly language, it's SIOP right there. And then,
See, I didn't get to the slides, okay.
so, because I was gonna say, I thought it was here, I thought I saw it.
Yeah, but I didn't get to that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think this is where this just wasn't continued, like I took home unit 5 and it wasn't still doing that oral stuff in unit 5.
And this is kindergarten.
First.
This is the first, I'm pretty sure the first. Yeah.
Okay, I just sent you an email.
I think the slides, I think the slides, teachers would love the slides. If we're gonna like practice the reports or, materials, like you have this, you have this, you have this, you have this. That's kind of,
And the nice part about this part of this is that it has the dual, it does the dual thing screens, like PowerPoint, so your presenter goes. So if you hit start class, it'll open a brand new tab. You can slide that over to your TV, projector, whatever. And then for the stuff that you're supposed to be writing on, you just stay at your computer, you use your mouse, or if you're on your tablet, whatever it happens to be, you write on it, or you can cast it to your students one-to-one devices, and they can write on it and follow along, and then you can see exactly what they're doing too, which I thought was really cool. I could not find anything equivalent for the other two resources. I know that HMH, I know they have them, but it was not in what they provided for us for a demonstration. Well, it was not within the sample materials. So this one, the sample materials, you can go through the presentation, you can see what it looks like.
Okay.
For the HMH ones, I saw PDFs, but I didn't see, he showed them, but they were not available within the samples that I could find.
I found it open for articulation.
Oh, they have them.
Let's take a little time, but I found
They have
it.
them, okay. Because I wrote down that the only one that had it was HMH.
They have videos. I think HMH has videos and cards.
The archery, yeah, the mouth cards.
That's right.
That's it.
I mean, that's fine. So you can present it online or you can just get the slides.
Because I think she was saying that with the download, right, because somebody asked about having one. And then
They download it,
in Google Slides, save it.
and then, yeah. What did everybody have for the assessment portion of things?
Everything seemed pretty strong on assessments,
Okay.
like all of them.
So I was frustrated by the fact that the samples were samples.
Yeah.
The amplified was the only one that seemed like we got the whole thing to touch and feel. And the other ones, it felt like, well, portions are missing. And so I wasn't sure if the assessments, how they worked, what they were looking for exactly.
I felt like those were so standard.
Yeah.
But I didn't, the one thing that I didn't feel like I found easily was the questions that. What
Cold
is,
reads for the IRI
and
and
the
SBAC.
benchmark assessments that were rigorous.
Yeah.
And written in a way that mirrors language of the ISAC. And really like iStation, I don't think they're really gonna find, right, because it's. It's the sound, it's the there. Now, the listening part, I think some of the way that you, I think probably what people can understand most about Amplified is when they're just having listening tasks for stories. Because let me tell you, that is gonna be, that is a change. That would be a huge change. And listening for kids is not, they really, a lot of, they don't know how. They don't.
No, and I love the fact that Amplify didn't double ding kids. So for the comprehension part, it's comprehension. I love that. It's because it's not, if you give a kid a passage to read and they're struggling with decoding, they may understand the content, but they won't score well in comprehension because they can't decode it, right? And so if you're really focused really on the skill that's being tested with skill appropriate evaluation and expectation. And I loved that it's basically teaching kids how to think like writers before they have the physical ability to write. Yeah.
There's stuff too, if you look at their cards, beautiful. They were intriguing, like your cards, oh my gosh, gorgeous. Like they did not dumb them down, they didn't make them like cutesy whatevers. It was art and it was beautiful and it was like really rich stuff that you're looking at with no words. And I was like, it was nice. You don't want
Yeah,
to
speaking and listening kind of thing.
And I guess you read levels ahead of what they're actually able to do, but you don't want words up there where, like my kindergartners who can read, think they're all that, whatever, and they're trying to read, and you're like, no, just listen.
And see, I'm such a straightforward. No, I just like it all straightforward, like, let's get to the,
Yeah.
like.
No.
Well,
The other part that I like about the Amplify, because
I'm
have
not
a
really
really
understand.
no free break is it sound first. And I love because
Until they have a sound.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And the fact that.
So you see me looking at the ground? That's my, I
don't call it this.
No,
Right.
I thought, so for me, Open and Amplify were the ones that were the closest in terms of the one.
Maybe that happens.
But, and each one does it a little bit different, and there's strengths, drawbacks to each one. I liked the indication on the Amplify one, whether it's a common formation or an uncommon formation, and they teach the vowel consonant vowel first. Because the other one is so tricky, because, so for example, A, is it A, is it A, is it A?
Yeah.
Or just the A by itself, but in the open court, I liked the fact that it was color coded,
Yeah, I know.
which made it.
That's why I like
I was like, oh, that's so cool. Could you just, can we just mix it together?
Well, like, and really, that was like, I mean, open court was when I first started teaching, and I can't tell you how many first grade and like how many times I was like, that's it. Oh, I didn't know that like DG always followed a short back. I mean, so many of those things, I just didn't know, because I think I grew up with it a whole word, like you just really just but that's what I loved about it.
Oh, yeah, and the other, had that tricky word stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that
I did like that.
ELA had the strongest support for the decodables. Because
Yeah, that
they
open
did
court.
call out open court, that was why I asked that question. Because CPLA says, well, you can't get around those high frequency words. So we call them out in the decodables for kids who haven't experienced them yet, so they don't panic because they can't hear the. But open court, they said, oh yeah, well, that's just a thing. But, so there wasn't the same level of support for those high frequency tricky words that there was in the amplify. They're just there. And just skip it, Johnny. Like,
No, open court doesn't include it until they know how to decode it.
That's what she started off with, which is why I asked, well, what do you do about the tricky words like the? She's like, oh, well, those are in there, we can't get around those ones. I mean, but they don't call them out the way they amplified it.
I don't think they teach them explicitly though, because I think the beginning decodables is project. So it's like, I like, so usually, unless I mix it up, they would say like, the words no are I and like, and then, I know, so not a.
Those would be ideal.
The only thing with, I was thinking with amplifying all the tricky words, in one of their texts, it says like, these are words you just have to memorize. Which not all of them are, right? Like they'll say, well, no, some of them do follow the patterns, you just don't know the patterns, right?
It's going to you.
So.
That way,
What were some of the other, like looking more at the older?
This was
Yeah, I really liked it. I did look at the document thing, so it's a text level thing, but I'm like, you really should have done it the other way around, because you need, but then the point was not, they are not talking about influence in text structure, in idiom and reference. I'm like, I'm totally there, because I'm like, you have to understand the Reformation before you can understand how it influenced the Renaissance, before you can understand how Cervantes was parodying all of these tropes from the Renaissance, but they're not there. They're talking about what you're doing. Yeah, that's not what they're doing, that's what my brain's doing. But it is a text level thing, and what they're focusing on in Cervantes is the concept of heroism and the knight and a quixotic task. Go figure. And it's interesting because it is a simplified Cervantes, but Cervantes is like, because it's all these puns. So, but I thought it was good.
We were doing interviews today with the district office, a couple of admin coaches, and so then I like pulled coaches over and just looking at the fourth grade one. And at first they were like, are you doing literature? I'm thinking fourth grade. And so then we just started digging in more to like how they introduce it. And one of the first things that they have fourth graders do is like draw a picture of the fire, describe it by your teacher. That kind of a thing. So there were, I think one of my big wonderings is for our kids who are used to the input of media, which is such an epidemic in itself, right? Like how do we make sure that we give buy-in? And I think some of that is teacher buy-in, like when you're excited about it, to do that feed to the kids, like you have topics that are but really practically, like how do we create that buy-in with the kids with these kinds of text and amplify? Because like, right, in HMH where they're trade books, there's more interest. That's just kind of like a natural, there's more interest. And it's just a good one.
Did you guys ever watch Don Coyote? The cartoon? Okay. It's Sancho Panda, is his sidekick. Where is he? But, so that dates me a little bit. But no, I think, I don't know, I liked the text and I liked the rigor. But what we were talking about in our grade level was the kids who are in 4th and 5th grade right now are not going to be ready for these texts at this time in this way. So, maybe there's I don't know if there's a possibility that we do a gradual rollout. So, no? Okay.
But I thought we asked that question to them, because it was Trish's biggest concern, was that like she wants it, but then she's not sure. Yeah, they'd be ready for it, but it sounds like. It sounds like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for, right, how she answered it, like.
Yeah, the kids are gonna take the extra support, right?
Did it reintroduce like that it's all there again, it's just.
If you've had the prior,
Sure,
it's a benefit,
of course.
but if you haven't, it's okay.
Right, we thought that might be a deal breaker.
Yes, because that was one of the things I've read in the text. I do feel a little bit similar to our first go round, where I feel like one was stronger in the comprehension and one is stronger in the foundational skills. So I still feel that.
Which one do you feel is stronger in the foundational skills?
HMH and core.
So let's
Make something up.
make a new curriculum.
Yeah, and so which, in your opinion, as an educator, is,
That puts so hard, right? Is
which one?
how do you represent all?
Yeah.
Because we're not just talking about one.
Yeah.
I think that really is what is.
I was trying to do an Annie chart. I think we should all have to do an Annie chart on it. Let's figure out the affirmatives and negatives and interestings of each one. Because it's what we teach our kids on, how to, in the writing classes. So we take a piece of literature and we figure out all the affirmatives and negatives and the interesting togethers. And then weigh them, like, is it worth, because they aren't just totally apples to apples when they're.
Oh, that's true.
So.
I mean, they all had great scores.
Supposedly.
On it.
On it, yep. Green, 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 green. I'm like, okay, so fine. CKLA leads to more independence. I like that. Asian schools do too, and they're very good at it with starting about 8 years old. They have a facilitator. I'm like, fascinating. That is fascinating to me. Here's a kid in America. You're like, you're not a baby bird anymore. Like, get out and play. So that's fascinating to me. I do like that book, The Knowledge Gap, and what is like new, unique, different to like what we have. And like, that is fascinating to me that maybe there's another way, that there's something else out there besides just the same and maybe the same results. And then what's harder to implement? Is this harder to implement? Is this harder for subs? I do really think that it's pretty basic if you gave them the easier things on a day that, like, unless you're gonna be gone for a huge chunk of time, assign some of the things that are.
The pausing points, I think, right? Like those were a couple of things that I thought could be utilized if you have this to do a class in 20 or
Yeah.
those kinds of things.
Is an hour and 20 minutes enough time for those whole group grades versus the 60 minutes? And like, is there too much to do? What did you
I
think?
thought the younger grades had the 120, and third is the one that gets the extra. And then fourth and fifth is 90.
Okay, so that's not what,
The 60 is the non-interrupted skills. Yeah. And then you're supposed to have another 60 for knowledge.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to tell that to Anna
Yeah.
because she thought K through 2 has 120 minutes and 60 minutes only for 3 through 5. Is that enough?
Oh, no, so it was, the 60 minutes is what they recommended for
Uninterrupted.
yeah, the uninterrupted, but it's 90 for, and I think with third grade, isn't the 120 for the first part of the year?
Yeah.
And then they move into 90.
Okay, so, yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's remember that. Okay, so, because that would be a lot to do.
And it's not designed to be
No,
120 minutes.
thank the Lord.
Straight, dry run, let's go.
I was actually lacking, that's what I pointed out to Tammy, because I don't know if you understand that book, but it literally says, like, this is a good time to take your break.
Which one do you- Have you guys read that Teach Like Finland? It's so good. They do 60 minutes, but then 15 of it is outside play unless it's under 5 degrees and they don't even care for training. So you have 45 minutes of instruction, 15 minutes of play, no matter what, every hour. No, 6 hours. Wow. And they're doing really well, but there's a lot like this American.
Right down, really important note.
And he's like, what the heck, I'm used to staying way late. I'm used to like working through lunch, I'm used to doing all this stuff. And everybody's there like, I'm gonna burn out, like, stop it, like, what are you doing?
So what is?
Yeah.
Teachers.
Chris and Rotary.
Instruction.
So,
Yeah.
one of these things,
I know.
we did for afternoons.
Trisha's one who told me about Teach Like Finland, like the first day back to the second round of this, and I ordered it and got it like right away. And you can put it down. It's sweet, easy read, and it's got tons of data.
Maybe next time.
The things you can implement, because he didn't tell us like this, you know, he's just like, you can have a fifth grader buddy up with a kindergartner, and you can like, and then his fifth grader started doing like, this camp, they do science camp, and they have to fundraise for it, so they're like, we want to do a bake sale, and he's like, I don't want to help, and they're like, you don't need to help, and they did it all themselves, I'm like, that's beautiful, that's what homeschooler is, it's like, I'm like, you want to do that? Go for it, make it so I can't tell you did that. You can do art all day long, don't let me see it as you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so next is the draw, open court, we've got, do we have any notes on? Does it have more 50-50 nonfiction, fiction versus like the, CKLA being?
Yeah, I think open court did specifically call out their 50.
They did.
Yeah, they did. I had questions about open court. So I wrote that I really like the color-coded foundational stuff. I wanted to compare the spelling cards to the, what is available in Amplify. And
Like they're just.
I like the fact that students can record themselves. I like the fact that students can record themselves in the 3D.
How much time?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think to do that without being in teams. Yeah.
How much more time do you guys want?
Let's just do like.
Oh, by the way, the two things, so the diagnostic spelling component test, I like that in both Amplify and open court.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really stronger, I feel like, in those.
Yeah, I thought they all.
And the
used
vocabulary
specific
too,
core
like all the.
Yeah, so I like the way that they did the roots. But that was the only thing. The digital resources, I was underwhelmed with them for the open court. It's just like PDFs of what you have in print. Yeah, like, well, gee, thanks.
It's not as, it's not a robust, what do they call it, a digital ecosystem,
Yeah.
it's not robust, like, no, there's, I do think we, like, the the no Spanish version
Yeah.
is an impact. That is unfortunately a
I did like the fact that the HMH had a Spanish parent portal.
Right, yep.
So does Open Court ironically,
The parent portal?
but not for the kids in the classroom.
You
Spanish one?
Spanish.
But they don't include something, because they don't English parent, language learner.
They have like the toggle one for teachers, or do they have one just for parents? Okay.
Well, that's what Anna and I were saying, like, it was,
And Open Court, they have like
you could ask her. English, I was like, that's interesting, but they don't have it for the kids yet, but they have.
but they don't, yeah,
That is
parent portal.
interesting.
and they have it for the teachers on how to.
Yeah.
How to teach it, but they don't have it for the kids, that's,
Not yet.
that was the
One of the things that
thing that I did not like.
yeah. One of the things,
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I just was thinking one of the things I appreciate in HMH is there is also a spot for other languages, not just Spanish. Like I noticed they had like Cantonese and Korean and some of those. Like if this is their native language, then watch for this, that kind of thing.
Sorry, this is the second time this person tried to call me. I don't want to be right back.
Oh, so now I'm back in, oh, that's what I'm looking at. Okay. HMH was strong as well. We felt like it was in first grade for HMH.
What did I say?
Strong and phonics.
Yes, HMH.
Yes.
I felt like Open Court had less, they were the least, maybe focused about handwriting.
I started in second grade maybe.
See, I didn't have the handwriting thing.
Oh,
She
Open
was
Court had, yes, second grade.
Then you can like,
But
just a little less.
But HMH, they have a separate handwriting manual that we didn't see.
Oh, I saw it in this CK.
Oh, okay.
I liked it. You wanna see it?
It's cool.
Yeah, it's a whole separate.
Is it like a separate book?
The handwriting is?
See, I didn't have that
Because
one.
in
Yeah.
first grade, I thought it was a part of,
Maybe in first grade.
the kinder was.
No,
Sorry.
I think it was third.
Oh, older handwriting, like cursive, is that what she means?
Yeah, well, the handwriting practice. I don't know. I didn't bring that one home. But I was in second.
Do you ever decide which one you prefer? H is my favorite. I think just because I don't know enough and enough people and to speak to like what it looks like in action. If that makes sense. Like,
Seems the most.
I would like to hear from.
I just was really frustrated because I wanted to see the lessons themselves. And this just has a description. It doesn't have the material.
So in the online one,
And the online
Like
one,
what-
they did not, I was not impressed with the HMH.
did you get into the lessons?
I did.
All right.
And it had this
We're gonna
material,
bring this
which
back
was
together.
good.
That was nice.
Yeah, I do like that. I like this. This is very.
Clean.
This is my kind of cursive book. It's straightforward.
I love the Poets Journal.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I did see that, I liked that.
Yeah, I love that, like, that's a.
This is
Sorry.
I think it
Oh, that's
was.
the CLA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that, I liked the poster.
So here, right? So let's go here.
Hello.
Yeah, they all.
I would say
Jackpot.
another 60 minutes.
Wow.
I look like great. I just look at it. I think because we're the same thing. Yeah. I think we do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know.
He showed them.
And I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what my kids know. At least I got your youngest.
I want to see the lesson after. I want to see what it looks like. So I do it.
You story
Otherwise, we wouldn't be teaching it.
No, I thought we were doing
Is that
it
$1 million?
right here.
No, we're doing official.
Yeah, they all.
Oh, okay. I mean, like.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, supposed to be a note about. Centennial.
I said, we open enrolled at Centennial forever. Fingers pushed.
What's your homeschool?
Oh, really?
When it opened, we went there for about 2 weeks. Or not even that, maybe the first 4 days. And it was so packed. Then they were more than happy to say, you applied for open enrollment at Centennial. Do you want to go? I was like, yep, I do.
Great. So back to whole group.
Joan and
Any
Diana
questions
were
for
back
the
there, so I was like,
whole?
yeah, you want to go.
Any wonderings, for the whole group?
Okay, so we're gonna score, or,
As long as we've got all our discussion, anything for the
no,
will of the whole group,
Yeah.
we're good?
Did we ever, videos down for?
Open court.
I didn't see articulation videos.
She found
I found them.
But, for all of them.
There's not cards, but they have
Yeah,
videos.
do they have it for CPLA?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I didn't.
They do have it for CPLA, I was
Okay.
You're like, don't ask me.
You're like, I didn't know that.
I do have a question with the CPLA with the not having the pictures with the cards, and that was a discussion we were having. How is that, would that be a huge, I know it would be a huge shift for teachers. How does that affect, how big of an effect does that have on students with blinking sound and the letter?
Is it really a sound spelling card? That's what I was thinking,
Is
it's
it-
like, that's just a spelling, to me in my mind.
Right, a
Give us
sound,
some research.
a sound spelling card is like, has a picture, like, the Open Court rep actually brought one. Like, that is an actual, you probably have a camera out there, like, it has a picture attached, and then it has the spellings.
And Journey still has that as well.
Inch reading has that, yes, and our current Journeys has it also, yes, so we have those. It is extremely helpful when students are writing on their own, that they just have a reference to look up and like solidify, oh yeah, that's the sound, that's how it's spelled. Because like high frequency words, like the word, I don't know, was, like, you're not gonna be looking at the Z, you know, you're gonna be looking at a Z and it's not spelled Z, so you need to be looking at the card that has the Z sound, and it does have, on sound spelling cards, it has the blank and an S, so you know at the end of a word or a syllable, it's spelled with an S. So they are used a lot. I'll say we don't have any extra. I'm sure if you've gone to the bathroom, you've seen some extra things that are being utilized. Those cards are hot commodity. We never have any extra. Everyone always wants more. So.
Because they might hold up behind your window.
Steal from a neighboring pocket. Cut it out, and I'm gonna make it look really good, and then be to that. I'm just guessing if that's maybe in one of the rooms, in my building, there's probably a card behind.
You say when we take down and replace whiteboards, we're gonna find a bunch of these cards.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Because for some reason, tape doesn't stick to brick. It's weird.
We find interesting things.
Hot glue.
Yeah.
That's all I use.
It's like a golden child.
Any else for
I
the group?
After a while.
Any other group questions?
Yeah, I had questions about the assessment.
Me too.
It was, maybe I just didn't look in the right places, but I couldn't find sample assessments for all of them. To see whether or not, what the SBAC aligned assessment looked like, or to see if they had a variety of responses. I gathered that they did based on the presentations, but I couldn't find it in the materials. Did anybody?
I know that in the interreading, I did notice one of the assessments, it does have the part A, part B. So answer part A first, and then based on your answer for part A, answer part B. So it did have that. I didn't like the format of it because there was a lot of print squished into one page. And so if it were me, I would retype it just because there's a lot of black and white and it's very overwhelming even for adult eyes that can read. But I did like the fact that it had answer part A first, and then based on your answer, then answer part B. So I did like that because I do know that those are ISATI questions. But I didn't see it for the other two.
I know that Amplify talked about it, and they said that they have like cold reads that kids can do for test prep. But I couldn't find samples to see what they looked like. I wasn't sure if anybody else. Okay.
Yeah, I thought Amplify, the assessment package was lacking a little bit compared to into reading and in the other one,
Okay.
or in open part. Like I just said, they did a lot of check brand understandings. Again, kinder, that'd be fine. Third grade, I put that may not be enough. And then Dibbles was their, like their they're more rigorous.
Would we continue doing things like ice stations and CDM and those, that would, because even though these have online, like, Lexia type of things, are we keeping what we already are doing and what we already know? So that part of it would not change.
Right.
Regardless.
Right. I will add, that Tech checked all three of them and our systems work with all three programs. With the exception of the Close Reader and Amplify does not work on iPads. That's the only exception.
That will read to you.
Dang it. It doesn't work on iPads, but it works on, but our elementary kiddos do have
Our iPads.
iPads, but maybe they're gonna work on it.
Could they work on desktops? Because we do have computer classes, like computer lab. Is it something?
Not all of our places really have.
You don't have a computer lab?
Well, we do, but they don't work. So we all use our iPads. They
So-
use our iPads.
And they don't currently, it's not a glitch, it's just that it doesn't work right now on iPads, but, I'm sure it's on their to-do list of things they're gonna, maybe eventually.
So here's one thing, that I mentioned, and I don't know if everybody was there. I did look at websites. I found 2 websites that did have instructions for teachers as to how to handle, kids with, different pronouns, different thoughts on sexuality, and there was one website that really stuck with the curriculum that I couldn't find anything on. So Amplify to me, stuck with the curriculum, the other 2. And I think, like you said, there's probably just a side thing for teachers to, when they go into their website to learn how to handle things, but it's not something that we're gonna, with new policy coming out, it doesn't fit well with that. Another thing, there was something in the book that taught kids that were from different heritage. I think it's the HMH book.
Yeah.
It taught them how to stick to their name and not changing their name, because their name is their heritage. That's all well and done, but I think it also makes kids feel devalued if they want to change their name, that they're doing something wrong. And everybody has a right to do that. I know even in Peru, they do that. In Peru, I know that I have nephews that like to have a nickname that's more Americanized, even though they don't live here in this country, but they like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Kids will go by what they go, but we shouldn't be telling them how to call themselves, or how they should be calling themselves. I think that's kind of a little bit, doesn't make sense, and it may seem like it's not a big deal, but in many ways, it is, to me. So yes, thought I'd throw that in there.
I would say that you could Google probably any of these programs, maybe not Open Court, maybe, and find things like you just described, because they actually have programs K-12 or even through college. So I would want to see it in the materials and the program we're buying, not just these big publishers that publish multiple things.
Was the website on the, like in what we
And the link
accessed?
sample,
The HMH with.
the sample that you logged into,
Well, I went deeper than that.
but was it just out there, like on a public website, or was it
Yeah,
attached
it's their own-
to this
It's their own
curriculum?
website, HMH.
Into reading or just HMH?
And when I talked about their curriculum and teachers' guidance as to how to handle things, so I can send you the links if you want, but it was in there.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is when they came, maybe the curriculum itself doesn't tell you anything, but in the instructions in the website that they have for teachers, it's kind of like a, Anyways, I'll send the link out. I probably should have done that, but I've been looking at.
The teacher can manipulate any curriculum,
Yes.
so in the end, it's gonna be to the teacher.
Teachers can.
They're not going to look at that and go, oh, okay, like, oh, I'm just gonna follow it, but
I don't know what you're getting at, but yeah, you're right. Teachers can manipulate any.
so they can sway any other curriculum, and so like you're saying, like it's on the website, it's there,
Yes,
a teacher can look at it, and I don't know if they'll automatically just be like, oh, okay, I guess I better listen to what the website says, and so.
I'm just saying that's what I found. And this is something that I will bring to the board as well.
Yeah.
That's what I found. That's all I'm saying. Not that it matters with any of you both. You guys are experienced to know what's best. So.
Thank you. And, parent, or no, this talked about, the curriculum. It did say in the first grade, amplify, the amplified teaching religions of the world in first grade. Did you see like what they did for religions of the world? Did you guys have to notice?
I didn't, I wondered if they were talking about like the Mayan and the Aztecs but I didn't, where was that comment? Cause I just
I
saw
didn't see that, yeah, it's on that.
I saw the strongly opposed amplify. Oh, I did not like that amplify teaching about the visions.
That was a parent comment.
That was a parent.
A parent comment, yeah.
I
So I
just
saw
wondered
that,
if
but
it
I
was
didn't
like,
like, I was wondering where, I was like,
Yeah, I didn't even
I
see
don't
that.
see it either.
I wondered, I just kind of wondered if it was Aztec. I know one of the things I read was talking about how every kind of state had their own religion, economy, but I didn't read through every story.
what?
Didn't get that
Come
far.
on.
I'm like, I specifically did not read that section.
So I can pull it up again.
No, that's fine.
Like,
I was just
none of
wondering
us
if you
did.
knew exactly, like what they were talking about, if anybody knew what that was.
It could just be an informational thing.
Yeah.
Like,
So I don't know if it's just me.
Okay.
I talk a lot.
okay.
Okay, K2, I know, 22 years worth, not yet. K2, it seemed really expository heavy and amplified, where not a lot of fiction stories. Did you guys notice that in the first grade also?
I'm sorry, it does say the religion of Babylon. There is a lesson on the religion of Babylon.
So that's probably the one.
Students
they're
will
talking about.
review features of the ancient Mesopotamian civilization. Students will explain the religious beliefs and practices of people in Mesopotamia. Students will demonstrate understanding of the tier 2 word religion. Students will identify the religion of people in Mesopotamia and, in collaboration with peers, write about it and illustrate it. And then the formative assessment, that's the writing.
So if
homeschooling.
So if you
Yeah, I was like, is
are,
anyone opposed to that?
so I guess my point is, if you are gonna bring that up to the board about interreading, then you should probably also bring up that Amplify as a lesson in first grade about religion.
I will. No,
You know what I
I
mean?
think
Like,
that's a
it's
good point.
We gotta try and,
Yeah, I think that's a
we're
good
looking
point.
at all of them,
Yeah,
I need to
right?
know what religion was in Mesopotamia, but.
I don't know what that is.
I don't need, I'm gonna find out.
Well, if you take that first grade book home,
Yeah, so, and there's like whole sections, I can't even remember which one, but like, you know, sorry.
Yeah, I think they touch upon the Epic of Gilgamesh, in that unit. Which I don't think anybody is going to be going out and building a tesseract because Utapishtim, is going to say, I don't think that's what they're going for. I think they're just trying to identify features of cultures. Cultures have these features. One of the features that all cultures have is a set of religious practices and beliefs. What do religious practices and beliefs look like? And they probably picked Babylonian religion because it's not one that is currently practiced by anybody that I know of, so.
It actually does, I just scrolled down more, so there is a lesson on Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. There's like an introduction lesson of 3 world religions, and it reviews religion in Mesopotamia, identify the names of 3 world religions, the tier 2 word is faithful, and then it goes into the Judaism is 1 lesson, Christianity is 1 lesson.
What grade is that?
This is first grade.
First grade.
Yeah, Islam is the 3rd lesson. And then it looks like, the language, the tier 2 word from each of those. Like for Islam, the tier 2 focus word is fast. For Christianity, it's miracle. For Judaism, it is synagogue. A synagogue.
So they don't focus on any one specific, they just talk about each different ones so they can know.
I think that there's a lot on the history, like there's a lot of history in that curriculum, and we do it in classical conversations, like at 4 years old, we start explaining like Sumer, Mesopotamia, Egyptians and all their, I don't know, it's like a little smattering. But I did really like, those beautiful story cards and everything are unique in that they don't have the words and they are doing a lot of comprehension, and I think we talked about that or in our group, I don't know that. But I think that's a unique component to this whole thing, is the comprehension and really hearing a few years ahead. Like, you can't read it yet, but we're gonna introduce things that are meaningful and beautiful and whatever. So I like this.
One of the things that, when I was looking at that originally was, I know that one of the big components in the ISAT is listening comprehension. And so having that extra practice built in with that, yeah, is
Comprehension cards for the, kindergarten.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And there's one per unit, like they're pretty hardy, each box is like a whole. Also, she pointed out on the CKLA like website, how like streamlined it is for a teacher to come in and be like, boom, here's all your videos to go. It's like, it's super, here's what you're gonna need, here's all the components. I forgot. I'm not super tech, so.
Anna, we were gonna check it out, so in first grade in CPLA.
Start over.
That one. In first grade in Nampa, I really struggled with the phonological awareness and phonics. I felt like it was very lacking.
What was it like for kindergarten?
I think it is strong. I thought it was pretty strong for K1, but as it goes on, it's very lacking.
What did you see?
So
Like,
I thought K1 was pretty strong. I do feel like it's more like a backwards kind of than what we're used to doing. Like, cause they're doing sound first, right?
Mhm.
And then you'll introduce the letter name after the fact.
thank you there.
So that's totally different than anything we've ever done. So that'll be definitely a different way of thinking for all of K1.
Did you have strong phonemic awareness though, tasks, like?
Yeah, I thought they were pretty good. Yeah,
Because
because
I
we
just
always ask them anyway.
I didn't see, I couldn't find, like, I didn't find any substitution.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't find any of those more
For the
advanced
changing.
manipulation,
Mhm.
and it wasn't consistent. So like in those openings, it was like about 10 minutes of the 10 to 15 of all foundational skills. And then it moved on, but I was saying to them, I'm not quite sure if their spelling and language is what we think about as like the blending piece. Because then they're looking at like nouns and, so just trying to figure out how those play together.
Yeah, I did notice though that like in into reading and in open court, like the blending boards, like we were saying, they're like a lot heavier. You know what I mean? Like where in, the amplify, like you said, there's some words, but there's not a lot. So in my head, I was like, we just add more words.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, but I did, like, I did write the question that for phonics, cause it's like K1, 2, heavy, but then third is review, and then 4, 5, I thought if you have any, like these first years, like we talked about, it's a lot heavier. If K1, 2 does not get through this curriculum, 3, 4, 5 are gonna struggle. Like, it's not like as a K teacher, I can slow down. 3, 4, 5 may be able to slow down because they're on the knowledge side, but I'm on the skill side. I gotta get all this in because first grade's gonna build on I got all this in, right? And then second grade's gonna build, third grade's gonna review. So,
That was actually, and I didn't get my question in soon enough to know if any of it review or not, like those last.
Probably so, it would be.
third grade's review.
Oh, I thought the end units were.
Well, yes, so the end units are reviewed, but they have all of the resources for all of the grade levels accessible to any of the teachers in their
So they could do
support,
that.
their remediation part, and it'll tell you, so if I remember correctly, with the Amplify one, when you do the tests, the diagnostic portion of things, it'll tell you, well, this kid needs remediation, and here's the resource. It's on the website, because I think they said that there were like 10,000 resources or something like that, some awful, huge number, well, wonderful, huge number, but, yeah, they're there, and they're organized based on,
Grade level.
yeah, well, not just grade level, but targeted skills.
Yes. So the problem is, like, for example, if I have a 5th grader who just moves in from overseas, does not speak any English, I'm gonna have to be teaching them, like when I'm going back to my lessons, I'm pulling a kinder lesson with a 5th grade student. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, they had it leveled based on grade, but there's resources for remediation based on skill.
at their level.
at their level. That was my understanding. I didn't go through the 10,000,
Was it the,
so.
because there was a book that was an add-on purchase, was it that one?
No,
Or it was-
it's part of the, the library. That was my understanding. Let me verify that I'm remembering correctly.
No,
You are
there's a
so
lot in there.
Yeah.
She is so organized, you
I have to be. When I was younger, I would be all here, not anymore. But I did like Amplify for the tricky words. Moving away from like the whole word. Both the other two are definitely still whole word, memorize these type words.
Oh, the tricky words where it says, but we know this part. We don't know this part of the word, but we know this part of the word.
See, I thought open court didn't do that. Well, what she said, they didn't. They didn't. All right, good to know.
The open court part was exactly like what
What
Tammy
you're,
and I are very used to.
oh, okay.
And the phonics language awareness, like I was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
It's all coming back. Yeah, so in that section, I was like, oh, this is very similar. I'm not sure what's new in that section, but I think probably the newer stuff is gonna be on the comprehension side.
Yeah.
Not that. Yeah. And then I still didn't find, so for Amplify, I did not find the decodables in a black and white, some kind of take-home version.
She said she found it. Right?
For the decodables.
I think
For all
there's
three of
a
them.
printable for all three. I did ask them that. It's not the same.
It's a different story.
I forget, it's a different story. It's not the exact story.
Right.
Does it go along with, because that was one of the things I liked about it, was that the readers and I thought it was the decodables went along with the main story. So is that, so the decodables that you found, do they go along with the story to help build,
I did
continue with that background
just
knowledge?
know they're two different. I didn't notice if they were related.
So if we did open court, it seems like it wouldn't work because of this like English second language stuff.
I mean, it would, but it wouldn't be as easy. I mean, with all of these three programs, right, there's positives and negatives, so you just
I just felt
have
like, is that even on the table realistically if they're years away from having anything for?
I think what would have to happen is they would have to like have their own adoption and purchase a Spanish that would not be the same as their English.
So the diverse.
Yeah,
Or like a completely separate curriculum? Is that?
Because then is that hard when they come like into the classroom where they're integrating that like into English? I don't know.
we've never, for as long as in the last 21 years, they've always had a match. So we've never experimented with them not having a match.
Let's clarify, make sure we're talking about the same things here. You're describing New Horizons dual language school. Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about, say, Trish, when she gets non-English speakers that arrive at a New Horizons? Okay. Because there's two different,
Right, I'm speaking of New
there's,
Because even before New Horizons, the school we had, like the school I taught at, we had like 3 English classrooms, and then we had 1 dual language classroom within my building. And so those people already always had the same program. But on the flip side of like, for like our other schools that don't have a Spanish program, it's nice to have that available. But
It is interesting to me that in like where most of these comments are in HMH as I'm reading through them, I hear a lot of what sounds to me like primary educators. Like making comments about like, I need a strong program with foundational skills, I need like that phonemic awareness, phonics, education track. The pacing, that like scope and sequence, a lot of them talk about that. And then, like, when you look at Amplify, it's talking about interest level, right? Yeah. The text pieces.
Thank you.
Are we ready? Are you ready to?
I saw it in the
introduce the score?
presentation, I just.
I am.
I have a question about scoring. Because I don't believe any of them are 5. So it says, because it says to get a 5 by our little thing.
Yes.
Completely met. Numerous text, activity examples, exceptionally explicit through guidance, multiple practice opportunities. So I just need to know, are people giving 5s if that's not the case? Because I don't know. Does anybody else see that the same way, or is it just me?
I think it's hard to give them a 5 when we were only looking at.
Couple grade levels.
Well, and I was looking at just one unit of
Yeah.
a grade level. I wasn't able to see all of the.
I would, oh, go ahead. Okay, so this is a basic question. Does anyone feel like there's a curriculum that freaks them out? Like, that is going to be scary for the Nampa school district, like, totally stresses them out, totally stresses them out for their school? Like, or will all of them work? Is there one that like totally freaks them out that's gonna be a disaster? Like,
Are you asking at first look? Will one freak teachers out? The answer is yes.
I can totally
I
answer
think
that
the answer is
question.
yes,
Okay.
it will.
which is,
Amplify, because it's completely different from
Completely
anything.
different than anything we've ever done.
But we've always been told when we get new curriculum, don't try and do everything the first year. Okay. Work your way into it.
Well,
And
but I don't
Try
know
to
if
do
you
it.
can with your.
Try to teach it and nothing else. Like, don't be supplementing.
Yeah.
Right.
But we've been told, don't try and do everything that's in here your very first year doing it, because there's so much. And then next year we'll add some more in. And so it Amplify would be a very, very steep learning curve.
It's gonna take everybody back to ground zero, like Amplify would, right? Like you wouldn't have, unless you're maybe from out of state in the district that taught it. Everyone's gonna be back to like,
We're all gonna be first year
learning
teachers again.
yes, yeah.
is that good or is that?
Well, and that's, I mean, that's why we're bringing a lot of different choices, because we knew we were gonna choose possibly something different. So ground zero, I mean, even this new curriculum like this, HMH, which was called something else different, it's a totally new thing written, right? So there's gonna be learning curve no matter what, but I think, anything else back MHH is gonna be a huge change. So that's to be expected. We just gotta, to me, I just gotta see what's best for the kids and then what's best for the teachers. And that's how I'm looking at it. It's, you know, I love history. I love the historical part of it. I'm really digging it. So that's just my thing.
So my question is if the board picks Amplify, will the teachers be able to leave up their journeys off limits? Because that's gonna be a big,
Okay, let's turn it.
that's gonna be a big, difference. Because we've always taught with a sound, like a picture going.
My
to the-
response to that at the moment is if we need to cross that bridge, we can have conversations and collaborate around what we think is best. And we would make a decision one way or the other.
Because it's gonna have to be all or none.
Right.
And like, it's gonna have to be a district says, you have to get rid of these. We're coming, we're taking them, because people will hide them.
Well, they
That's
should.
like not me.
People will
But
hide
it has begun already.
right? Like,
We
just
do
so
our
you
best.
know, like what Tammy said, if you go back there and look at all this curriculum stuff, you will find no sound cards in there because we love them. We use them. We play with them. Like, the kids wanna put them in their mouths. Some of them do. That's disgusting. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like,
Hand sanitizer.
so the big difference between Amplify and the other two is you do not have the picture going with the letter. It is just the letter.
And that is key, and I will say that it might cause confusion because, like, the picture that whatever program you're using is then embedded in like the materials you're using. Like
And
the
home is gonna be
the
different than the
consumables
picture.
have the picture, and so if they're trying to, struggling readers, like, I'm gonna connect that the T is the timer, but you're teaching me the T is the tempo, so.
Yeah.
What did the sound
What
cards
is the
look like
T?
for the amplifier? What do they look like?
So they said it was the letter and then it has like the sound spelling underneath. So you'd be like A consonant E and then B, A.
That's what they show the kids.
As they learn them, then you add more onto them. Am I?
Right, you
Yeah.
build it as
you go.
the, right, as you're
The
teaching
spelling-
them.
The spelling tree.
The spelling trees.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
I don't like it, but I wish there was a picture.
Well, if I'm understanding what she was talking about correctly, it's because you don't learn the name of the letter, you learn the sound first. So this is, what is this? And then later, once you get the sound down, then you're like, oh, by the way, this is called an M, for those of you who are wondering. And so I don't know if that is why they don't have the pictures,
Which is a huge,
but.
like, most things, even
Because a lot
research
of them
you
are gonna come in
read,
and know
science
that.
of reading research is you teach them both simultaneously.
Mhm.
Because we have the opposite problem for a long time, people just have the letter and not the sound. And so it really is supposed to be intertwined. Also, our state assessments are
Mhm.
going to be testing those things right off the bat.
Okay.
So if we're not cycling to it, and we haven't never had it, so I can't necessarily say how long it takes until that happens.
Right.
Well, and she brought up too, as a first grade teacher, how if you don't do it the way they're doing it, then you kind of gotta backtrack a little bit. So I was like, well,
Because I was gonna
that's
say, you
interesting.
could, like, the teachers could add it, right? If we know that we want them to know the letter, the name, the sound, so, hey, guys, I know it doesn't say that, just tack on this, is the name, right? However, like, you can say that, but not everyone's gonna hear the message, and like, new teachers pick it up and it's not there, and, but hopefully they have a good mentor, you know?
And how does that, for the older grades, when these kids that are coming up this year, and they didn't learn it like that, and they're doing this curriculum, how is that gonna go for them? Are they going to be okay? Like, that's,
We talked about it's gonna be rougher to go back.
It's gonna be,
For the
it's,
But you're focusing more on that morphology and etymology, so. I mean, really probably the hardest transitions would be like first to second, right? Kindergarten first, when you're in the thick of, because, right, like if I'm looking at this card, there's nothing on this card that help me remember what that says. Like, what sound is that? Even if you're saying, what's this sound? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
There's circles and sticks, I don't know. Whereas if I got the picture of the boy or the toy or something, then like, tell me the name of this picture, what sound do you hear? Oh, okay, you know, that kind of thing.
is that a crutch I'm almost thinking, why did you say that though? For giving them,
It just creates like, it's that visual, the mental image, right? And when we can visualize, we retain better.
Yeah, all the senses you want.
Yeah,
to
and
it is
see
for a
it,
little
hear
bit,
it,
and then
say
it's not.
Right.
So you're.
Unless they're still struggling, right? Because we do still have some fourth graders that then we pull back around like, all right, here we go, back to it.
So I know that if we did amplify, it would be a huge, like I said, a huge learning curve for both the students and the teachers. Would the benefit, once we get past that learning curve, would it outweigh the struggle for the first couple of years? And I don't know that that's something that we can, that we can really answer. I think that the benefit of all the history in there, and I was talking about how my students will just soak up all of the nonfiction stuff that I throw at them. They love science, they love biographies, they like history, they like historical fiction. They gravitate towards all of that, and they love it, and they love all the, with all of my nonfiction, the diagrams and the charts and all the things. it's a natural curiosity of theirs. And so I know that they love it, but I do know that those first couple of years, because it is so different, that's gonna be a huge ask for both teachers and students. So I would assume that the benefit would outweigh that, but that's, I mean,
I did get, which they addressed this beautifully. I wish I could record what the lady said, but, I have got questions actually from a parent who wasn't able to come to the open house, but I think she's been a teacher because her questions are like, I don't think the regular parent would be asking that. But, she wanted to know, how did the science and history standards align with your grade level? Particularly with Amplifying, I said, well, actually with all of them, all the science and social studies embedded, all the curriculums we looked at. And none of them are going to align with our state history and science standards, because they just aren't. But we're just like building background knowledge so when they do. But teachers also are a little bit already on the edge, like this doesn't align with our fifth grade science standards. Why would I be teaching that? Or the history and the American Revolution and is in fourth grade and we do that in fifth grade. And I try to say we're teaching the English language arts standards. That's what we're doing here. And just we're building background knowledge for when you do teach it.
and also, so when our new admin came in, he was asking, I don't even remember how he asked it, but we told him, no, we're teaching math and reading. He goes, well, but what about the others? What about math and, or science and social studies? But our time chunks are such that we have this time chunk for math and we have this time chunk for ELA. And so the social studies and the science gets squeezed out, and maybe we do it once a week on Wednesdays.
I will say that very greatly by building.
Does it?
It does.
For us.
Yes, for your school. I can
That's the
speak to
way it
others that it's a
So,
little more balanced.
so
Not so much in
building-
K2, but 3-5.
and we
And we do have 4-5 science. Well, you helped write some of that. Yeah, we don't want to, but there, so it exists. We have science and social studies curriculum and standards.
but having it embedded in the ELA is also a very big draw because, I mean, not that I'm not gonna teach it, because I will, I do, but having it already in there is lovely.
Except it's not gonna match, like Amplify is not gonna match your standard.
Well, right now, second and third grader. We had everything, it was all beautiful and.
Well, and fourth and fifth grade are really working, like they've had it and it's new to their science curriculum. And they're working hard to embed that. So I can see for fourth and fifth grade, they would probably be the most affected by that. And we do take fifth grade science ISATs. We are held to our Idaho standards.
But it's not that they wouldn't be doing the science curriculum, this would just be in addition to.
Right, and I liked the fact that I think I mentioned it in both of the groups I was in, that it gives kids authentic practice with the skills, the language skills that they're learning. So even if it's not the science standard for that grade, or even if it's not the social studies standard for that grade, it still teaches scientific thinking and language. And it allows them to connect that this is not just in the realm of ELA. This does apply to other things too. And it's not just skills in isolation. And it seemed like Amplify was the most tightly woven together of the cross-curricular.
Well, and like her
implementation.
example about the volcanoes.
Yeah.
With the Pompeii and the science with the volcanoes and how it all merges together.
Okay, crazy question, but like if we decided to go with this because we feel like it's got a lot of strong suits, then at some point, could those other subjects be adapted and put into, like, you would take this and you'd go, okay, so now we're gonna create science that goes along, like, could that be something down the road?
Only because our state standards,
They
they
dictate what grade.
dictate what grade we
And
teach
there's no,
things.
What you tend to find is in a informational text setting for, say, science, it can be related, but it usually doesn't go into deep enough detail to help us meet the standard. if that
Yeah.
kind of makes sense.
so I look at like homeschooling, like if you did a volcano and then you do the,
And our new standards are based off the lens of a phenomena. So it tweaks it even a little bit more. It's not just learning informational text, so to speak. It just gets complicated. What you just said is that potential, like, everything's a possibility, right? But we're a long ways between connecting those two dots. But there's just a
I
lot
just didn't know, like, if you,
that would
you're
be-
learning the five sentences in kindergarten, can that just be, but I'm not saying that that's a standalone, you would just build on that.
Right.
During that unit, you would also be teaching my five sentences, because usually that's in kindergarten somewhere anyway, just do it for that fun.
And I would say the fourth, fifth science curriculum embeds English language arts into it. Like so they take our state standards and then they're adding those. So it's not like they are completely standalone, like they're embedded in there.
I am, I'm going back to the very beginning, talking about we're representing not just ourselves, but the bigger picture. And like when I'm looking at these, everybody chose one curriculum. And so that is, there's a
I will-
balance to.
I was thinking
that
too.
And I gotta jump in here, right? So our process and procedure, though, is based off of a rubric of your investigation and discussions to score the materials, resources, and what you've now learned about them according to that rubric, not to be swayed by the feedback that comes from others. And I just bring that up because it seems like the conversation is beginning to make, the conversation is going from discussion to dialogue to make a decision, so to speak, and that is not like a discussion to clean everything up as clear as possible, so to speak, in your own understanding of the evidence that you've been exposed to in order to fill out your rubric is kind of what we need for discussion in this format, not are we trying to sway or convince each other what the decision should be, right?
So it's like, this isn't-
Yes, and that's,
We don't need to think about this, we need to
This
take our
is-
score and just see
Never-
what happens.
This is new to us. Normally what we would do right now is exactly what you're kind of doing, which is kind of narrowing everybody down to a consensus. We're not doing that, okay? Discussion for information, evidence, and understanding. You score the rubrics. We quantify what the rubrics say. That gives us the quantifiable ranking. Then obviously we can throw some qualitative feedback, which are some of the things that have been brought up, to go along with those descriptions. Okay? And then that ranking goes to the board with the feedback of the open house and all that, and so that's the qualitative picture with the quantitative picture that we present. So just, I needed to throw that out there a little bit because we're.
Going back to Anna's question, I think
Are
Anna's
people
question
giving
was.
vibes? Are people giving
Right,
vibes?
that helps.
And if I could jump in there, we
Yeah.
intentionally tried to set that up to where that will calibrate itself. Okay, because you're gonna lean to giving a score,
But if they get fives and I don't get fives,
yeah,
It'll be fine though.
but they're
because
higher.
You won't
I'll
score
be the
fives for
outlier.
anybody.
The higher,
Can I just go with it?
the higher scores,
You too, me too.
so, right,
Ashley, are you sure about that?
Yeah, because you're not in my building. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
it'll work itself out.
Here's someone else's problem. Wait a minute.
So basically, you're gonna throw away the lowest scores and the highest scores.
No.
No.
Okay, so I got another question. If there's one that I'm leaning to both sides and I really don't know what to do, can I just leave it blank? Or not?
On your score?
No,
No. you have to-
yes.
If you put a zero, that's gonna very much.
That will definitely.
Marco, I have a question for you, and
I
like,
can-
I'm gonna, oh, sorry, I have a question for you. Like, and so when, whichever curriculum gets chosen, and we go here, and then this new policy that comes in, would that, how,
do you just use the curriculum and then take out the stuff that the new policy says, or how does that work?
So basically, you guys are sending recommendations, we're not choosing anything. And then that recommendation, first place, second place, third place, whatever that is, will come to us and we'll discuss it. We'll have, I think they're planning to have an open meeting, to have people come and talk and give their opinions. And
Marco, I think she's addressing, the new policy procedures we're proposing around what we can, talk about in teaching school and what we can't.
yeah, so that policy, when it comes to play, is gonna make sure that if anybody wants to do any additions or wants or add anything with regards to sexual orientation, or that they're not gonna be able to do that. But like you said, some teachers will.
Yeah.
But to answer
But we
your question, the
How will it?
The intent of the policy is if you say such and such text, unit 5, chapter 6, page 30 through 33, are addressing something we've identified as we don't want to teach and talk about in our school, then the directive is move on. Right? We don't.
So would it be hard on you guys to?
No.
No, okay.
But
Again, that's, yeah.
by and large, we are talking about a very, very, very small percentage of the information in our adopted resources that address these things, touch on these things. So it's not hard to just say,
Yeah.
fast forward, go.
It's just gonna be, that little tiny thing causes chaos.
Do you remember
So we just say
Re-
on our release?
Remember, once we start the rubric, all discussion has to end. Right? That's clearly in the procedure, and that is due, once again, that once you get to rubricing, is that a word?
That's a word.
Did I just, yeah. But that is truly your scoring of the rubric and not being influenced one way or the other.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
While you're inputting.
Like Miss Ann can't be saying, better be giving it a 5, because I gave it a 5, right, you can't, that's not how. So
I can do it without
all-
talking.
all discussion needs to end once we start scoring rubrics.
But we
Everybody
have to
clear
make
enough?
sure we put the scores on our pieces.
It'll be okay if it's not.
Don't write that down, don't write that down.
So I will be collecting, just remember, I'm gonna collect your form. You have a score number on your sheet with your name. At the very end of the form, you will enter your score number, so it will ask you, and those are not, for the public. So nobody will know that.
No.
Yes, so
Oh, so this is how you know who voted for what.
nobody except for, myself and Scott will know that.
And what do you guys need to know?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not even gonna look, we're gonna have it there just in case something comes up in which we need to address. That's the only reason.
You want to know? I'm kidding, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna start the
Okay,
test now.
let's begin.
Are we rubricing?
You're scoring, yes, so we're working, yes.
Our rubric.
If anyone prefers a device or laptop, I have some.
You sure you just read it there? No. Come on.
For the justification part, if you just put a little summary, like, it doesn't have to be in detail, it doesn't have to be all your notes.
So I can do it again. No. I don't think, when they're done with the form, you don't agree. Okay. I really don't care. Just get it out.
We have them all in. It's gonna take me just a minute to copy and paste them into Excel, so if you wanna take like a 5-minute break, and I will work as fast as I can.
Or we could all sit here and just stare at
Just
you.
stare at her.
That'll make it go faster.
Properly.
Can you give me an ETA?
Well, they're messing up the spreadsheet a little bit. It's not calculating the numbers like it's supposed to. We're having technical difficulties. We're gonna have the experts set it up for us, to practice. Everything was supposed to happen.
Conspiracy theory. I don't think of that.
Always.
You could have just changed this little girl to a. No, I think there's a little boy. Little girl.
Just a little girl?
Yeah, sorry, I know that voice.
I could have sworn I had one that was.
No, there's no, it's all girls.
Oh, man.
It's all the first thing they're gonna say.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Mrs. Hay, why do you like girls better than boys?
That's exactly.
You gonna tell them?
And when you get,
That our one.
I said, remember last time when I picked the boys? Oh, yeah.
when you get my son, he'll be like, yeah, I don't listen to it, it's a girl thing, like, so there we go, yeah, yeah, and he's like, the epitome of.
At least the good thing is I bet he's saving that for you, because I doubt he'll ever say that to me.
No, I don't.
Most of them I like, and I was like, he say that to you? Oh. I was like, I've never seen anything like that come from him.
I don't even know, like, I cannot get an insight, all I get is, he is a boy, is all I get from preschool, I'm like, oh. Olivia yeah, I always got like from you and the teachers, they're always like, oh, yeah, we know about her. I'm like, yes, I know.
She's fun.
He just roars. It's just what he does. Or someone at a war, they were like, oh, I know him, he's a firecracker. I was like, yeah. Yep. You wanna ride at the energy from? That's me.
It's true. I have one who's so quiet, and then my girl is so loud. Like she just talks nonstop. So, and then she's 23, and she still talks nonstop. And it's the pillow, and she's like, she wakes up, starts talking again.
All three of mine are loud, but I don't know if Leon will be loud in school. That's the biggest one. I'm like, I don't think. Naomi, yeah, Ellie's, she's screams.
The kids want the baby in kindergarten, that's what they say.
Well,
She needs to come to kindergarten.
She wants to. She wants to go to preschool too.
Right?
And they're always just like, the teacher's always like, yeah, it's like, I'm like, okay. She'll teach you, she'll push you too.
I'll be like,
Sometimes I feel like, poor kid, she has third child syndrome, because sometimes I'm just like, you know, my little Lydia, I was probably like, no, you know, but Naomi, like, she wandered down, like, that one day where she wandered down a big blue season. I'm like, I know there's other effort, she's down, big up running. I found some of your kids, like, come over, like, on that side where I'm talking to some of their parent, and then they're like holding Naomi, I'm like, oh my goodness. Whoops. And then you're just talk structure, put down, put down. Yep. As you can see, I'm not phased.
yeah, we had a whole conversation about how Ava's not adult.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is.
Ava's just like, and put on our shorts or take our sunglasses and put on Ava. Ava's crying, she doesn't like that. And then I'm like, I'm playing. And I was like, no, I'm trying to dress her up. She's not a doll.
She's not a dog.
Yeah. A lot of Ava says, I'm like, Ava doesn't talk, so.
No. That never came out of my kid.
Yeah, never.
Never. Like,
Like,
I've never had conversations about this at home. I feel like I'm getting targeted here. Yeah. They're sweet.
It's true, our kids have the best parts of us
Yes.
and the worst part.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst.
There's there's a kid who works in their class. It reminds me of my son's love issue. And it's like, hey, it reminds me
Oh,
of you.
yeah.
There you go. He's cute. He's cute.
He's the one that's always like,
That's a tricky one.
that's a tricky one. I'm trying to stump you. What letter is this? That's a tricky one.
You do have one perfect child in your class.
I do? Me?
Yeah. Boston, he's perfect. He's perfect, he doesn't do anything wrong. You're like, no.
They all do stuff that's wrong.
No, he's perfect.
Just because he's not yours.
No, I see all the other flaws, so the other kids, but this kid, I'm like, man, he just sits there.
Yeah, he takes everything in.
Yeah.
Like you can see him just taking everything in.
I'm like, all the other kids are like, you know, like rolling over crying and. Kindergarten.
Well, we had Skyview come today, the band came out to the playground to play for us, right? So then we were just in the middle of reading my
It's not copying them as numbers.
So I was like, okay, so now we have to decide, we gotta vote, are we gonna vote, we're gonna read this, are we gonna go listen to the band? Hands down, no one wanted to read it, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, you guys don't even know. We get out there, they're like.
Yes, do that.
Yep.
Like,
And do you know-
kindergarten.
Are you
Yeah.
a
These guys are
Excel?
pretty cute.
Yeah,
They were warped on Excel a little bit.
they were so funny, so with the water balloons. Mr. Webb.
Okay, so they were going back more.
Yeah. I like the kids bailing.
There's more balloons in there.
There's no.
Did not do math.
Well, Brian had to call me to calm down too a couple times. I was like, so when can my kids like start going, you know, like Liam and Hercule? She's like, calm down, calm down, like you can't, like, I saw them and throw them. And then her kid wound up nailing me. Oh, yeah, no, Elia was like,
So when
she just kept going and I'm like her mom, like Vanya walks away and then she just like starts nailing me. Like you were so good, like, like she got comfortable, she's been to my house too much. Yep.
Hopefully there's a few other things in there.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them.
You know, they've got some in there, I don't know how many. Good. But,
So then we have another.
but yeah,
But it still didn't perform.
what the show's gonna be.
Okay, so.
But-
Okay, back here.
But as things settle down, that job should not be as good as this one or yes, the.
Different.
So where that is, okay, so,
Oh, which lady was over that?
no, that's so, it's weird because it didn't see how it, left justified. When it's formatted as numbers, it should be right justified, so I don't know why it's doing that, maybe it's because it's sort of a table.
Like there's some of this.
But, no, it's just a default when it comes in, yeah, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah.
No rest for you.
It said, oh, there it is, yep, and that is a number, yep, and then that should copy, so then copy it
Really
now.
interested in my fishing.
Isn't I went fishing for the first time in like 8 years.
And you should be able just to click on the first cell and then it needs, and it should,
Never catching trout like that.
but it's still okay.
Big.
So then select.
I didn't get nothing, but everybody around me was catching things. I'm like, I don't get it. You know?
So, format
I need to go again, but I can never find time.
and self.
And it's not that I'm at work.
Well,
it's
format
just
still
I'm
watching
so long
them.
that way.
And then format it out.
Pretend.
They're busy.
And then go back to. That's what I'm thinking.
And
And then click
takes
OK.
me just so focused.
It's super weird. I'm just, if anything's been so weird for me with computer.
Oh, I know that.
Oh, now, yeah,
So now
It's
we're
now
gonna go
formatting
through
as
what everybody voted. and then
numbers
what-
with 2 decimals, so it didn't actually.
And if anyone has a 5, then
What's that?
if anyone has a 5, then
Oh,
it's not gonna be.
Then she'll get upset. Oh my gosh, I better.
It's not gonna say. I tried to make my responses sound like so it's intimidating when you can like, I know who wrote that. I know.
Too late, sorry.
Too late.
Well, mine are always Spanish, so you know which one I do.
Hey, mine too.
Hey.
So,
Yes.
I wish. Just for this
Yeah.
one here, let's see.
Olivia claims no sign language, so like all of it.
Sign language.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know that you guys do a few,
Yeah,
but
we do
like
all the letters.
she's like,
There's-
I said, this is my butterfly or something like that. I'm like,
I'm saying it right now, and then it's like, see it, say it, sign it, right?
yeah.
See it, say it, and sign it, right? So the kindergartners all do that, and then he goes like this, and he points to the letters, and we go, all of them. The letters of the alphabet. Every time they're all like, they're like, there's nothing by you.
There's nothing about you.
The only other,
Oh, they're so funny.
yeah,
I see why you stay in kindergarten.
they're fun.
I'm sure first grade.
I've done first grade.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll seem fun to me too,
I like kindergarten.
but I don't know why.
They do, the things they do. Oh, I know, they make me laugh at everything. Every day for my
Oh.
I get a lot of, they, like, whenever I'm there, like, just at pickup, they all, like, they just start coming around and they're like, Olivia's mom, Olivia's mom.
What's your name?
Yeah, I know. I was like, then they tattle on Olivia too, and I'm like, oh, like, and they tell me all about the things she
Yeah.
did.
End of kinder is a lot of tattle. First grade, a lot of tattle.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny.
You tell my meetings, this is my. Yep. It's all through up. Chair.
Five, 160. I just have to know in kindergarten. You're welcome. I know you don't get that, so I'll do it for you.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's try to make this bigger. All right, so this is CKLA. So this is the categories: phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension, writing, assessment, other sensitive topics, and then down here you can see this is weighted 25%, 7.5. So each of these correlate with the percent we agreed on: phonics 15, phonological awareness 15. So then CKLA scores a 4.3209. Into reading is a 3.759. And open court is a 3.82. So all of these, along with these comments, will be sent to the board.
So, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention. What was the ranking?
Let's see. CKLA 4.32. Into reading 3.75 or 3.76, you round up. And open court 3.82.
So open court ranks higher than entering.
It was.
Yes. All right.
So do we need to have a talk about that we're not supposed to share this?
No,
Or we are
this
supposed to
is
share
public.
this? Or we
All
can't
live
share
It's
this?
being broadcast right now.
Yep.
This is
Public knowledge. What we don't know is the
What the
scores.
board will pick.
Yep. So the scores, so we have our adoption committee to process, scores sent to the board for review. And then the final step is program selection by the school board. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you some more.
Do we have a meeting scheduled?
I know it's not. Could it be Monday, maybe?
There's no one on the dock. So we don't know when this is gonna go in front of the board yet. We'll work fast. Graduations aren't helping us.
Yeah, sure.
That chews up a whole week.
Oh, that's boring. We need to know something about it because we're under a timeline, right?
Yeah.
Yes, all your teachers are like,
That's the
yes.
first thing they're gonna say.
They're
when we
really
go back
behind.
tomorrow.
Maybe we
You just pick one.
We need to decide, yeah.
So can we send an email to the board and the superintendent
And then that we need to decide right away, can we add this to this? Because they can still add
So
it.
Dr. Russell and Chair Taylor have, how long, Dr. Russell has alerted Chair Taylor. We need to set up the time for this staff. I'm not sure where they're at in their
Well,
conversation.
even if it's
Or
a,
pros and dates, so,
yeah, I'll call her. Because we need
I was gonna say, out of all the people sitting at the table,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You're the one
how
that's
does
just
it's not gonna get,
somebody that can help move that for us?
it's not gonna get on the Monday.
Right.
It's, money's already full, it's just, it's,
We'll stay till midnight before.
so, anyway, well, I don't make those decisions, so.
You're like, don't.
So all I'm saying, as of right now, we do not
Do it,
have
Marco.
a meeting scheduled to address this, nor is it on Monday's agenda. So
Make it work.
we will trying to make it happen as fast as possible. We'll see what happens.
We can let you know, I'll email you once we know a date.
That would be awesome.
So, thank you.
Thanks, folks, appreciate it.
Oh, yes, and if I don't have your paper, will you just, turn that in?